Guys, Kaspa dipped to 6.5 level. Of course, that is due to the fact of what BTC did. We all know that. However, these liquidity levels were visible for Kaspa and BTC. So once again, guys, I believe that this is very important to follow liquidity heat map and where the liquidity is, because as you can clearly see on this channel, this is something that we are following: liquidity heat map, and of course global liquidity. Price almost always is going towards liquidity, otherwise this market wouldn't be made. So what happened if it comes to the technicals? Kaspa basically smashed through a little bit of that level of 6.5 in order to collect liquidity a little bit lower. Obviously, the stop losses were put a little bit lower, right? It's never perfect. Let's go and see of what we can potentially expect from Kaspa and overall market. This is something that I was expecting to happen. I didn't make a video for the last couple of days because, to be honest with you guys, it's a little bit ridiculous that whenever the crypto is pumping and we YouTubers are making crypto videos, the views are pumping, right? This is when everyone wants to listen, right? Because you guys got this confirmation bias in terms of the price. However, if the price is going down or is stabilized at the bottom, which actually should be the best time to accumulate and watch these type of updates, nobody really cares, right? So I allowed myself to just have a couple of days off. Let me know, guys, if you would like to see the daily updates, right? Anyways, let's go to analysis. So what's happening on 4 hourly? Guys, on 4 hourly, stochastic RSI is already overheated, and let me put vertical line to actually show you, for the purposes of even this a little trade potential of the little trade. So what we see is that huge greed that occurred in here, and stochastic RSI, well, it was overheated in here, right? It's not always perfect from the vertical point of view. Nonetheless, we can clearly see how that greed got oversold. And now I believe that Kaspa might lose this level of a support, right? If we can actually call it support, is on the perfect middle, right? Anyways, let's go to the daily time frame, ladies and gents, and let's see. So what the daily is showing us is that potentially short time frame we could have this rejection. But one thing to notice is that, well, we have almost bottomed if it comes to stochastic RSI for Kaspa. Of course, we haven't really flipped bullish. Nonetheless, I believe that this is still kind of a good sign, right? So what potentially can happen in coming weeks, because most of the RSIs, not only for Kaspa, obviously this is Kaspa's chart, but you see what's going on, right? We do have a bullish cross, and if we are going to actually look at the standpoint of RSIs, most of the altcoins, most of the projects are pretty much at that bottom of that weak RSI. So potentially based on that, and of course many different factors, we could see a pump. Subscribe to the channel, and of course like if you find this video valuable. Now, very important thing, big shout out to Mr. Colin, right? Because he's doing this analysis. And guys, hit the like if you actually remember when I was talking about this mini rally that fell for BTC, and it actually did, right? So we saw that perfect rejection for BTC, and now we are basically going towards the downside. Of course, one of the reasons was CME gap that had to be filled. So there you go, ladies and gents, the gap was fully filled, right? And now, well, on a daily, at least for BTC, what we see is obviously that downward momentum, but where we can stop for BTC, right? Guys, I'm not going to get into BTC's analysis, but of course we have to remember that BTC is driving the overall market, right? This offset is currently 108 days, right? So what does it mean? We are going to see a little bit of a boredom and sideways for the next couple of weeks, but eventually we are going to go towards the downside because the global liquidity has risen already, right? We don't really know if we are going to have a continuation of this yellow line. Hopefully we will. Nonetheless, worst case scenario, even if we want and we are going to see a major dump if it comes to global liquidity, we know that Bitcoin and crypto obviously in general is lagging behind this, then we can obviously take out some profits, because I believe that we are going to see another pump, right? Because this global liquidity chart is actually showing that we are above the previous all-time highs for global liquidity, right? So much bigger injection of money came recently in recent weeks and months, and I believe, guys, that this is something juicy. But anyways, coming back to Kaspa, 3.3% if it comes to daily gain, and now if it comes to Kaspa being mined, we are sitting at 90.39%, right? That's very, very good. Now, volume, we are sitting at 44.7 mil, and market cap, well, 1.6 billion, right? This is not really juicy, right? But we have to remember of what kind of a project Kaspa is. Kaspa is the type of a project that nobody cares about, and of course, there is nobody to actually promote it, right? There is no advertisement team. Anyways, looking at overall market, we do have a little bit of a recovery and bounce towards the upside for strong altcoins like PIT, NEAR, and whatever. Of course, I don't hold all of these. Nonetheless, I believe that they are quite juicy. Now, looking at ETFs, what we are seeing is that we have outflows, right? This is obviously very understandable. 28th was Friday, and we had this start of this dump pretty much. And by the way, if you want to keep your Kaspa safe outside of exchanges on which anything might happen, make sure that you check out Tangent Wallet. Tangent Wallet doesn't support only Kaspa, obviously it supports many different projects, and my favorite feature of this wallet is that you don't necessarily have to send your crypto back to exchanges. You can actually swap it for USDT in Tangent app, and with my discount code you can get minus 10% off. That's crypto space, and you can find the link below this video. Now, ladies and gents, looking at overall market, what we see in here, Trader Tarring Rate posted this macro chart. This is monthly, guys. I know how it sounds and I know how it feels because I'm here with you. I obviously put my heart and money into this market as well. Nonetheless, we see what's happening. This is monthly case. We've got a rising wedge, and you know, in order for this Bitcoin's dominance to collapse and come into fruition, more time will have to pass. Nonetheless, I believe that altcoin season is yet to come. And you know, speaking about altcoins, this is total crypto market cap on a weekly, and Prof is basically showing us that we've got the retest of the all-time high from 2021, and the last two times the RSI was at this level, total market cap rose 180% and 105%. A trend line was touched at the same time, which has been in place for 1.5 years. And he says that he thinks that April is going to be green. Well, this is something that I think as well, not only based on this chart, but the previous one that I have shown to you regarding the M2 supply. So what we see, RSI being oversold, basically, I use stochastic RSI, but believe that these two are, you know, quite accurate indicators. And now what we see in here, guys, I know that everyone is crying, right? I know that everyone is crying, but from the standpoint of you know, technicals, what we see is you know, BTC and overall crypto that is basically trading still above this trend line, you know, that uptrend which is in blue, right? So I don't think that this is bearish, right? But obviously people that want to make money in crypto, they are the type of people that are coming and going, right, after a couple of days or weeks, right? Anyways, guys, if we are still on weekly, right, I hope that I haven't lost you, right? I know that this is very difficult to watch the whole video, right, because it's kind of a boring thing, but I believe that, you know, it's quite important. Anyways, let me not digress and let's go. So Tightener of Crypto is pointing out that the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement is the key support to hold, right? Well, we can see based on history of what happened with 38.2 and how clearly BTC is basically interacting with the 38.2, right? So I believe that we do see a local bottom in here, right? Of course, we can see a very quick deviation towards the downside for BTC, and of course that's going to pull altcoins back. Nonetheless, I believe that this is very, very you know, good thing to see from the standpoint of technicals. Now guys, let's go, right? We have covered RSIs, and now let's have a look at liquidity. I'm not going to bore you with BTC on a daily. Let's have a look at 7 daily very quickly. So these are a couple of exchanges, Bybit, OKX, Binance. What we see is that on a weekly, everybody is shorting. So in my eyes, this is another area of confluence that, well, is helping me to give you that conclusion and opinion, which is crypto will pump in a couple of next weeks, I believe. But you know, if you don't believe me, look at this. Of course, this is daily. We could have some local volatility, short-term volatility, but if I'm going to zoom this chart to 1 week, all of the liquidity is above us, right? 89,000. But then of course is liquidity that belongs to, you know, most of the retail degens, right, that cannot do this technical analysis and starting longing or shorting when the price is going down, or actually is already down, right? So obviously that liquidity is yet to be grabbed. However, M2 supply money will come into the markets sooner rather than later. Now guys, our beloved Kaspa very quickly, and I'm going to give you a verdict for short time frame prediction, and that's about it. Anyways, Binance, right? So on a daily on Binance, what we see is that we are kind of even. Now, looking at the liquidity heat map, guys, is that it's very difficult to, you know, make a conclusion in here. I'll give you conclusion, but based on this only is quite tricky, right? Because we've got these levels in here to the downside, and I do believe that most of them are going to be collected first. I mean, the levels from the downside. And why? Well, I believe that if the liquidity is in between, we have to look at the charts in order to kind of help us to determine of what's going on. These lines are basically going to flatten out. This way, liquidity is going to be able to be pushed more into downward direction and be grabbed at these levels that I've just shown to you on CoinGlass on liquidity heat map, guys. I hope that makes sense. So that's your short term. Of course, I'm not saying that Kaspa is going to see a huge dive, but very big level of support, strong level of support that we previously has been, you know, bouncing from. If it comes to Kaspa, that's at, you know, 5 cents, right? So we could see that bounce from 5 cents. And now, guys, one thing to notice is that well, daily time frame, if it comes to USDT dominance, is being rejected. So I think that what just happened was a little bit of a pump, that little of mini rally basically for BTC, which resulted in this little local crash for USDT dominance, and now we are basically bouncing up. Obviously people took out the profits, so on and so forth, and now it's very likely that we could see further rejection on a daily from this level of 5.47% due to the fact that this area was quite strong in the past if it comes to resistance. So hopefully we are going to get further rejected in here. And if it comes to the weekly time frame, I would like to remind to everyone that stochastic RSI just flipped into bearish mode. Of course, it doesn't mean that you're going to see pumps in your portfolio very soon, but well, we basically have a pump on a horizon. Guys, remember that this video is not financial advice. That is just my opinion based on the data that I've just shown to you. I hope that you have enjoyed the video, and as always, peace and love, crypto.